What is going on, everybody, and welcome on in to episode 302 of the Garage Beers podcast, brought to you proudly here on the OBR streaming network. Listen, tonight we're going to talk about some Cleveland sports. We're going to talk about some sports from around the world, but the OBR remains your home for the best Cleveland Browns coverage in all of Cleveland. It is the oldest, largest independent. Chad, are you good over there? What are we doing over here? We're snacking. We're banging things around. You good, Chad? You all right? Oh, now we're going to mute. Now we're muted. There it is. Okay, Chad, this is Chad's first podcast ever doing this with us, so I'm super excited about that on 302 here. But again, we've got a lot to get to. The OBR, get to the OBR.com. Make sure you hit subscribe so you can be a part of the best Browns coverage community in all of the land. Again, big show tonight. We're going to get to the Olympics in a little bit because these U.S. hockey teams, both the men's and the women's, are doing some big things in the Olympics that we're going to get to a little bit later. We're going to get to the Browns and talk about some changes, big time changes that are getting made over there. And we're going to start the show with an incredible special guest that we're going to get to in just a minute. But before we do that, let's just do our intros. First, I'm your host, Michael Keefe. Joining me in the garage tonight, my two co-hosts over there in the noisy, snacky garage. It's Chad Meyer over out in Seattle. It's Joey Whalen. What's up, boys?
Hi.
Guys, this is a podcast. It relies on talking.
Yeah, it sure does, don't it?
I had a random thought today. You know how they say, like, when it gets cold enough in Florida, like iguanas just start falling out of trees?
That does happen.
I don't know why. I just thought of it today, but like I just pictured like driving down the road, all of a sudden, just like a 75-pound iguana just falls on my windshield. Scare the shit out of me. Or like you're walking down the street and one just plops down on your head. Like what?
Well, that would be the world's largest iguana at 75 pounds.
I don't know, but it would still scare the shit out of me. I'm just thinking of the winking lizard iguanas. Those things are huge, dude.
I know. Well, I don't know if it died. The one out here in Avon was called Green Bean, and he doesn't exist anymore. So
yeah, and they don't die either. I'm just picturing like them waking up like after it turns 50 again. They're like, whoa, that was weird.
I was out for a minute. I was out. All right, yeah, that was a random thought. I'm glad you brought that to the show. Joe, how's life out in Seattle, buddy?
You know, it's weird. I don't know. Maybe this isn't weird. But the Super Bowl trophy is at Tiffany's at the mall down the street, and it's there for the next 2 weeks because Tiffany's helped make it. But is that like weird? Like right after the Super Bowl, it just I don't know. I just like guess I'm more used to like the cup where it gets to go home with the player and like everyone gets a day with the trophy. Like it's kind of an interesting spot for the trophy to go for 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, right?
It is a weird spot. Yeah, you would think they'd get to just take it wherever.
Like literally the mall that we shop at down the street, just at a Tiffany store.
For sure.
Kind of weird.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
For it to be there. All right. Well, we're all going crazy here to start. But the show's going to get crazy. Sean, I love this comment. 75 pounds on an iguana. Those are called caiman, buddy. That's a caiman that fell on your car.
It's a goddamn crocodile. Not a caiman.
The same thing.
Yeah.
All right, boys, listen, we've got a great show, and I want to dive head first into this, and we're going to start with our special guest, and we're not even going to do Garage Beers of the Week until we get our special guest in here because he is somewhat of a beer expert himself, and so we want to invite him to have a beer with us. But to get things going, we are very excited to welcome in our special guest. The last time he was on with us was episode 141, so it has been a minute since we have had this guy in, having a beer, talking sports with us. I feel like it's almost a disservice to him that I call him the radio voice of the Cavs. The Spanish radio voice of the Cavs. No disrespect to Tim Alcorn. Well, maybe a little bit, but the Spanish voice of the Cavs. I feel like it's a little disrespectful to say that because you can also hear him calling games. You'll hear him doing some Guardians games. You'll hear him on some Browns games. Not just that though. This guy does Super Bowls. This guy has done some of the biggest events as the Spanish voice. He has been involved in some of the biggest events in the sporting world, and we are lucky to have him here in Cleveland, and we're lucky that he's a friend of ours here on the Garage Beers podcast. They call him El Alcalde. which I feel a little bit is stolen because it means the mayor, and there's only one of those, and that's Fred Hoiberg. And I don't know if Fred Hoiberg knows that he stole his nickname, but
isn't that the coach for the Bulls or like Iowa State?
Yeah, well, he was a player at wherever Iowa State, I think. But Fred Hoiberg was the mayor, but this guy is El Alcalde, and that is more fun. We're going to welcome him in right now. We only need one name, and I'm going to call him one name. It's Rafa. What's going on, Rafa?
What's up, guys? How's everything going? Thank you for having me. Wow, so many random thoughts. You already, just in the intros, you had enough to talk about for the whole show. And by the way, Chad, the best part about the frozen iguanas is in Miami when you go play golf around the time that the weather gets really cold, at around 50 or 40 degrees, really dangerous. They tell you to watch out for the iguanas because there's a ton of them on the golf courses. So you have to be careful when you're driving. It's not only cart path only when it rains, but it's also cart path only when the temperatures are frozen, because the iguanas kind of like fall off the trees when they're laying down. So yeah, they're not quite 75 pounds, but
I would take a tiny one and tee one up, like just stick its tail in the ground, stick a ball in its mouth.
It wouldn't help your golf game, my dude.
No, not at all. Not at all. Which is why I'd had some fun with it.
And Joe, by the way, the Lombardi Trophy, they all do weird things. I think the best trophy to hang around with the fans and is obviously the Stanley Cup, and nothing can match to that. I think there's no way you can even try to start emulating what they do with that trophy. And yeah, the Lombardi Trophy, it's a Tiffany Trophy, so I guess they're gonna be hanging in there. But you gotta be happy you have it in Seattle finally.
Yeah, right. It's a big deal. Well, they got it a couple years ago, but.
Yeah.
Getting all fancy schmancy with it. Like now when wives say to their husbands, take me to Tiffany's, like they just want to see the Super Bowl trophy. Yeah, along with the diamond.
That's a heck of a get-in for the store.
Yeah,
right. To the Lombardi Trophy, then buy a necklace.
Yeah, that'd be funny, right? Like, how much is that? You point to the trophy, see if you can buy it.
It would still be too expensive for the Browns. All right, boys, before we get into Rafa, you're here to talk mainly Cavaliers with us, although we might talk a little bit about life too. But before we get into that, we've got to do our garage beers of the week. And you told me before we went live here tonight that you've been keeping yours nice and cold. So, Rafa, why don't you kick things off? What's your beer of the week this week?
Well, to begin with, I got to say, I'm a little old school when it comes to drinking beer. I never got into the flavors and adding the pineapples and the apples and the oranges to the beer. And I was in the industry when Killian's beer was the microbrew. So I always try to keep it simple. I don't usually drink beer, but when I do it at the garage, and I have myself a Negra Modelo, one of the best beers that you can have for the price and for the taste. I think Negra Modelo, it just beats it up. So salud, boy.
Oh, salud, Rafa.
There's the pop. Modelo. We're listening to the pop.
It was a good pop. I remember I went to like a little border town in Mexico, and they were serving those tall boy cans of Modelo, and on the top, it was just a mountain of salt and like limes everywhere, and it was one of the best beers I've ever had. And then I drank a couple and had to go to the bathroom real bad, and I went around back, and I refused to describe what I saw in the bathroom there. It was a rough scene. Let's just say there was a hole with mud in it. We'll just call it mud in it. It was a rough scene at the border town in Mexico, but the Modelo's hit terrific, and they were 75 cents a piece. So can't go wrong with that.
No, not at all.
All right, Chad, what are you drinking over there in the boiler room?
I mean, I got the hard stuff tonight, guys. I'm going with a Jack and root beer. I would have had Jack and Coke, but Jack and root beer is root beer is all I had. So it was like, again, it was that kind of day, and here we are.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, well, Jack and root beer. Joe, what's happening out there in Seattle?
My in-laws just got back from a trip from Hawaii, and they brought me a beer from Kahola Brewing.
Oh, nice.
Called Lokahai Pilsner. It's a little German Pilsner. How about that?
A little German Hawaiian Pilsner.
Whoa.
That's an easy
the Hawaiian flowed out of you there. Like the Hawaiian words just flowed out of you, man. I'm impressed.
I'm not gonna lie, I did practice that before because I was like, I'm trying to do my best.
I got to bed about 2 a.m. to practice that.
Yeah.
You sounded like you were right from the islands there, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. First of all, if you're joining us live here tonight, get in the comments, tell us what you're drinking, and we'll flash it up on the screen. But before we get to mine, well, I guess now we will get to mine. I have got one of my favorites. I saw it in the store. I probably have had this on the show somewhere along the lines of 302 episodes. But from right downtown, right on East 4th Street, it's the Butcher and the Brewer. And one of my favorite beers on the planet is they make that albino white stout.
Yeah.
So it's a stout beer, but it looks like that.
Nah, blonde.
But
It's
it tastes like a stout.
Yeah. Delicious.
And it is so good. It is so outrageously good that I saw it in the store and I said, you know what? Even if I have had it on the show before, I gotta have it on again. And that's what I did. So I've got that one from right here in Cleveland, Butcher and the Brewer.
This is not a segue from saying good beer, but has anybody ever brought Zima in those 302 episodes that you've had?
Zima.
You know what? No, but I think you just gave us a theme episode.
Yeah.
Rafa, we're gonna get Zima. We're gonna get Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. And to be honest with you, we've gotten a little lazy here on the beer side of things, Rafa. When we first started this episode, your buddy and our good friend Tim Alcorn was our very first guest.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to get creative with different types of beers that we would have. And we'd have like we had the 1 week where we had beers we hated and we had to pick a beer we didn't like and bring it on. And, we would have like the Twitter would vote on what beers we would have. It's been a minute, so we might have to get back to that. But I love the idea of like the Zima week.
You gotta have there are so many beers that have like acquired taste. When I was in the beer industry, St. Ives was big in the market. I used to have a lot of stores in the Bronx, in the South Bronx, and St. Ives was huge at the time. And obviously, it was only like you have to have it in a 40 ounce as opposed to the 12-ounce can. But yeah, there's plenty of product, plenty of episodes out there with beer that I just I hear Zima is coming back too.
Zima has been back. I mean, if I bring St. Ides on the show, I'm keeping it in a paper bag. I'm keeping it in a paper bag.
I'll join you with a Colt 45.
There we go.
Well, I'll bring a Mickey's and we'll just do it up.
Then our theme we'll have Zimas, Smirnoff Ices, wine coolers,
bottles and James wine cooler.
Yes.
Rafa, my sister for like 20 years, she lives in the South Bronx and she has her little bar hangout that she goes to. It's called the Glenroy, right in the South Bronx. And I think I've seen people walking around with those plenty of times.
The Glenroy used to be my account when I had that whole area, Yankee Stadium, the Hunts Point, that's where my beer career started with the South Bronx, and it was amazing to see all the brands that you see in those bodegas.
Well, she's got her place right there on Walton Avenue.
Yeah.
So, been there, done that. All right, Rafa. So let's get into our episode. Let's get into, again, talking about the Cavs. But one last thing before we talk about the Cavs. Because I don't think we talked about this the last time. And obviously, what is going on with that? I'm like burning up over here. You've got an illustrious career of so many big events you've called, and really being just one of the biggest Spanish voices for professional sports in America. And I know you're Salvadorian, correct, Rafa?
Correct.
So I need to know this. Here in Cleveland. Can you tell the people? I need to know where the best place in Cleveland is to get a good pupusa.
Ooh, good question. There are a few of them. El Arepaso is a Colombian and Salvadorian mix. I like the meat soup on Saturday. The only thing is they only make it on Saturdays, but it's a really good. They really make there's actually, you know what? There is at least 4 or 5 Salvadorian restaurants in the Northeast Ohio area, which is shocking to me because there's not many Salvadorians. There's a lot more Puerto Ricans and everything. But now, if you go to Centro Villa, which is on 25th and Clark, there's a whole new place that just opened that kind of looks like the Bad Bunny little casita in the halftime Super Bowl show. Yeah. And when you go in there, you can buy foods from El Salvador, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Cuba, from like many places. So they have bakeries and they have actually food, very delicious food, highly recommended to get a little taste of the flavor, the Latino flavor. But I would say La Pupuseria Catarina is a good one, and El Arepaso is also a good one on the range.
See, this is that's a, what is that, Fairview Park? North Homestead, Fairview
Yeah.
Park, something like that. Yes,
Yep.
okay. I've driven by it 100 times. I've never gone in. Next time I drive by,
Try it. It's really
I'm not
good.
driving past. All right, so Rafa, let's talk now. It's finally time to get back into basketball. The Cavaliers start things off with, I believe, your old team, if I'm not mistaken. Is it the
Yep.
Nets tomorrow?
The
Yeah,
Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, yeah.
Nets. But we got a little bit of taste. This was a team going into the All-Star break that was one of the hottest teams in basketball. 9-1 in their last 10, and really playing solid. A 5-game winning streak. They make the trade for James Harden, and it really came at quite a time, right? They went on that West Coast swing, and they kind of got bounced by the Phoenix Suns in an ugly game. And then they make the trade, and they get Schroeder, and they get Keon Ellis. They make the trade, Darius Garland for James Harden, and man, oh man, did it look like there was some life breathed in to the locker room, the roster. And it's not to say a darn negative thing. I don't think anybody's trying to say anything negative about Darius Garland ever after the career that he put together, a 2-time All-Star here in Cleveland. But they needed something. They needed some kind of kick, and really feels like they got it. Just feels like an energy shift in the building with that team. Is that something you're sensing too?
Yeah, for sure. And in my 30 years in broadcasting, I never made a trade. I actually said, man, I love that trade, without having to say how much you hate the human part of it. Because you develop relationship with these guys. Darius Garland, there's nothing you can say about the fact that he was part of the new birth or the rebirth or the retooling of the Cavs after LeBron left for the second time. So
Right.
everything started with Sexton and him, and then it was just him, and he was the longest tenured Cavalier until the moment of his trade. So that, I think, needs to be said about how much the Cavaliers as an organization appreciate everything he meant. But at the same time, it is a business of win now, and the Cavs came into the season, with the highest payroll, and having had that bad luck, I would say, at the end of the second round of the playoff last year, after such a wonderful regular season. So something had to happen, and I think you have to give it to a president of basketball operations, Kobe Altman, and Mike Gansey, the GM, and because you have to have some serious nerve to finally come out and decide that it's time to make a trade and to get better, because you have that window that is really small when it comes to winning in the NBA, and especially with what Oklahoma City is doing, and with the 500 draft picks that they have coming up in the next 5 years. You really need to get your stuff together. And I think that there's nobody in this state or in the NBA world that will tell you that we are no better than we were before the trades happened. Everybody's talking about James Harden, one of the top 75 players in the history of the NBA. He's averaging 25 and 8 assists and everything you want to say. But I like that trade for those two pieces with Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. It reminds me a lot of the J.R. Smith and the Iman Shumpert trade in 2016, that they came in and then understood their roles, and they knew that they actually had a purpose and a role to fulfill here. And I think, with the toughness and the pace of game the play that they bring, it's something that you, as a Cavs fan, you have to be happy about.
Now, when you were thinking, obviously, it's like Mike said, it seemed like this team just needed a shakeup. But I don't know that anybody was really thinking James Harden. Were you a little shocked by that at first when you saw that?
Yeah, because we are accustomed to just waiting for the official, especially nowadays with the social media, that everybody has a word and everybody has an audience. And there are some guys that you respect, and, it's usually when there are 2 or 3 guys that when they mention something on social media, you think, okay, there's something going on. But now, everybody has trade propositions and rumors and everything like that. But this is the second time I get surprised, because the first time when Harden was also involved in the trade when he went to Brooklyn, and then I woke up in the morning and the whole thing by Woj ended with, and the Cavs get Jared Allen. Nobody was expecting that. And I think that's something of the way that Kobe Altman has to do business. because it's usually, if you really think about it, all those trades that we're talking about, they were really like minimal leaks, and then when they were leaking, it was when they was already happening. So I think it's just a way that they do business in the front office, and they like to keep everything tight for the not only respecting the players, on both sides, but also respecting everybody else. So I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, and I think that Harden is coming in a very different situation that he has been in all of the many times that he has moved and been traded, because he's really coming in now to be a piece of the puzzle as opposed to being the piece that is being built around. Because Donovan Mitchell is having a season of his career and leading the league in 3-pointers made and just high up there in scoring average, and I think James is a smart enough player to realize that he can actually take his turns when it comes to impacting the game, and also get ready. I think it's going to be a lot of those Jason Kidd type triple doubles of like 12 points, 15 assists, and 14 rebounds, which is something that he can do and impact the game in so many different ways.
Well, yeah, I think it was the last. I think it was it the Denver? No, I don't remember what game it was. Maybe it was the Washington game right before the break. But I loved it. I loved the James Harden game. I think it was whatever game it was that he shot 1 of 4 from the floor. Mm-hmm. He shot the ball 4 times. Now, he got to the free throw line 12 times because he is an expert at that, which is why when he's not on your team, you can't stand him. But when he's on your team, it's great. But he also dished out double-digit assists and played an excellent game. And I think it all stems to this, Rafa. And as a guy that's watched a lot of basketball and a lot of NBA basketball over the years, I think James Harden has a couple reputations, and I think one is fairly earned, and I think the other one is maybe not so earned. And I think the one that's not so earned is that he's not a smart basketball player. He's a ball hog, shoot first, doesn't get his other teammates involved. And I think there's just a kind of an ignorance to that, in that I think people don't like him. I think they don't like the playing style and drawing fouls and all that. And I will be the first to tell you that's been a struggle for me when I watch the guys that are out there flopping around, and he's kind of been in that boat. But he's averaging like 9 assists per game for his career. And he's a guy that is fairly consistently, especially when you look at the big men, made them better. That he's played with him. When you talk about Joel Embiid was an MVP with him, and Clint Capella had his career years with him, and look at what Zubac is doing out. Well, now he's in Indiana, but look what he had been doing. So I think that part's, while I think you could be concerned about the way some of his tenures have ended in Houston and in Philly, in Brooklyn, and all that, I think the on the court stuff, I think people really underestimated the level of player the Cavaliers were getting in this deal that actually out on the court.
Yeah, and you touch on a lot of things there that are important to really look into. First, because we were just looking from the outside, and like you said, I found myself complaining about how many times he got the whistle, and in 3 games that he's been with the Cavs, I've been complaining about how many fouls he didn't get called. So that goes both ways. I think just there's players that you like him with doing your team, and players they don't like. But James Harden is not the type of guy that is going to be this vocal person. He's never has. And I think that's why he also gets that reputation, because he's not the dude that's going to be smiling and laughing and doing his thing for the camera. And nothing wrong with that. But I think that everybody's used to that part of the NBA player that James Harden is not. And then also, he gets criticized a lot for like not being a big player. But if you look at his numbers, again, we only have been on the outside looking at that game when they were up 3-1 against the Warriors, that series, and then they missed 26 triples, the Rockets. But the game 6 to make it, he had a really good series. And if it's not for Chris Paul's injury, but nobody remembers that Chris Paul hurt his hamstring that series. And that totally changed the whole series. And it wasn't just James Harden. And again, going back to what I told you, I think now he's in a position where he can decide on how he's going to impact the game or help the Cavs. If there's a night that the Spider doesn't have it, then maybe he can put the cape on. But for the whole, 52 games of the 55 the Cavs have played, or whatever the number is, it has been Donovan Mitchell. and Donovan Mitchell and Donovan Mitchell and Donovan Mitchell, and that's why he's leading the league in scoring in the second half, and that's why he's leading the league in 3-pointers made, because there was nobody else to really grab the ball and say, okay, guys, come on, get on my back, here we go. Now we have a player that is going to spread the defense, because now you're going to have to pick your poison with the Cavs. He's a guy who we just gained, half a foot in size at the point guard position. We have a guy that is pass first, who doesn't mind just playing pick and roll with the bigs. And you mentioned about how every big that he's played with has really improved his play. So Mobley's coming back. Struz is going to come back and help that bench unit that actually has been the one impacting the result for the Cavs. So I think overall, it's not just about James Harden's arrival, but I think it's about how Kenny Atkinson is probably going to start to have a good, consistent rotation on the starting lineup, and also, coming off the bench.
When he's been looking for it, right? Like that's been the key of this season. He's been looking for that. You brought something up though, and I need your thoughts on this, because I don't understand it. There's guys that get superstar whistles and guys that don't. James Harden gets a superstar whistle, right? But now I think we get this great view of two opposite ends of that spectrum, because I think Donovan Mitchell gets the opposite of a superstar whistle. I feel like the officials just expect him to finish through contact, and it's kind of, I know people will laugh at this because LeBron James gets a lot of whistles, but I also think LeBron James doesn't get a lot of whistles because he's so big and strong and physical that they expect him to just finish. What is it about when you watch Donovan Mitchell play? I feel like he gets fouled way more than actually gets called. What is it about his game that you think he doesn't get those calls? Because he's a superstar player.
I don't think I wouldn't call it superstar whistle for Harden. I would call it more that he's the type of player that the league has to react to and change rules, because he'll take advantage of what the rules allow him to do. This whole putting the ball inside, having the guy with the arm stretched just to get the contact, and they changed that rule that now you can just go. That's not a shooting foul anymore. So that's why it's kind of like a give and take situation between the NBA, the league, and the players, because James Harden has been smart enough to play along with the rules, whatever the rules allow, whether it is the side step and the back step, and maybe a couple of more steps in there that we have been complaining about for how long, and just the movement, like I'll call him Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, is another one that has really perfected. Jason Tatum, it's another one that has perfected the drive and the break, the neck breaking, and the whistle coming, and then just throwing it up just to get the calling foul. So I think that's what we're gonna get to experience a lot more of. And like you say, Don, he's just a guy that goes straight up to the hoop, and not really no fancy move, no nothing. He just goes in with his round the world move and just get the contact. So, and LeBron, you're right. LeBron doesn't get a lot of calls because he's so strong. People bounce off of him, and people. That's why he doesn't get the foul call. I mean, he's the guy on his truth.
This might be a dumb question, but this is coming from a guy that doesn't watch the NBA on a regular basis here, Rafa. But a stigma that has followed the Cavs around for the last couple of years is a toughness aspect. Do these new additions bring any sort of toughness to this team?
I think that has been addressed completely, because James is a guy that is a tough dude. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is a tough guy, and then with the two guys that I mentioned to you, with Schroeder and Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis is known for being a defender, but he's leading the league in deflection. He's a really three-point shooter, good three-point shooter. And Schroeder is the type of guy that you don't mess with. I mean, he's the guy that before the trade line was waiting for Luka outside of the dressing room after a game against the Lakers with Sacramento. So I think that is more of something that is just going to be contagious about what's going on. We are a really good offensive team. We are second in the league, leading the conference in point score with a little bit over 120. But these additions, and I think the consistency that Kenny Atkinson is going to have, because you saw it even with Mobley out and Thomas Bryant getting the minutes. You saw it in these last 3 games of 2 games in the road trip and 1 here at home. That it's Ellis, Schroeder, Naquan Tomlin, and Thomas Bryant with either Harden or Don, and that is just a whole other dimension of basketball being played with just the pace that they play and the toughness, and you have guys that really annoy the hell out of opponents, like Naquan Tomlin. He's the type of guy. It's like a Delhi version, right?
Yes.
Everybody hated Delhi because he guarded you 94 feet, even if you were up 20 or down 20, because he was always up there diving for the loose ball. That's Naquan Tomlin. He's playing for his life. He just signed a contract, right? That full NBA contract. So I think that has been addressed. And also, the toughness comes when you get that consistency of minutes played, so you get to know whose back you got to guard, who's needs help on the left side or the right side, and I think that is going to be something that the Cavs are going to work on for the next 25 games we have left before the postseason starts. And I'm telling you, man, everybody talks about chips on the shoulder and bad taste in the mouth. I don't think anybody leads us on that with the way this has been going. From the moment we made it in the play-in and lost to Atlanta and then lost in the first round, and then last year we lose two All-Stars and the leading scorer off the bench. It's hard to do that against a team that really was on a wave that nobody could get them off, the Indiana Pacers. So it's a game of basketball, just like any sport. I don't care what sport you talk to me about. It's all about doing the things that you handle and you can control, and then just hoping that those that you can't control, at least half of them bounce your way. And that's something that didn't go right for the Cavs last year.
Rafa, the Cavaliers, it sounds like from the conversations that were had, I think today, it sounds like we can look forward to maybe getting Evan Mobley tomorrow. And I think Dean Wade back tomorrow. So Mobley and Wade back, that is going to be about as healthy as the Cavaliers have been. Really the only missing piece then at this point is Max Strus. And they said, I think Kenny Atkinson said he had the most advanced practice he has had. He's still no contact. So Kenny kind of made it sound like don't get ahead of yourselves a little bit. But the Cavaliers look pretty darn healthy. And this is a question. I know the guys from the Chase Down podcast, Justin and Carter, they're friends of ours. I asked them this, and they addressed it on their show as well. But you've seen since the Harden trade, you've seen this explosion of Jared Allen just in recent play. He's been unbelievable. And my question is, and this might be a really fun challenge to see how Donovan and James Harden try to work this. I'm very interested to see, we talked about James' ability to get big men playing really good basketball, but oftentimes he's had kind of one big man running that pick and roll, and that's how it's worked. Well, now you're going to have two big men, and you've got one of them rolling really hot right now. So how is there any concern, or maybe better yet, forget about concerns. Let's just be optimistic. How do you feel like it's going to look? How do they get Evan going and get him involved with all this fun going on? We've seen it with even the small Merrill and Tyson. They're all having fun with James Harden out there. How do they get Mobley involved while also keeping Jared Allen hot and playing the way he's playing?
Yeah, I think Mobley was having probably the best 5-game stretch of the season when he went down with the calf injury. I think he was being very aggressive, being a little bit more on the paint than we have seen him in previous games this season. So again, I think it's all going to be handled by James Harden, who is going to be the director of this thing. And I think that either we're going to be the advantage with Mobley is that you can explode his inside game, but also he's also a good 3-point shooter. I mean, he's up there, and he was up there up in the mid-30s when he went down. So I don't think this is a concern at all. I think it's a matter that Kenny Atkinson is going to trust on Don and James Harden to really pick their moments on what they're going to work, and it's going to be all matchups as well. The other day, I think who do we have at home? Washington. Washington didn't have any presence inside, and they just kept feeding Jared Allen. And I think if Mobley had been active, it would have been the same thing. There was no reason why to be taking in outside of the paint with the weight. I think the tallest guy they had at one point was like 6'8" or 6'7", and so you have to go in the NBA. You have to take what the defense gives you, and I think that's something that James Harden and Don are really good at, trying to figure out how they're gonna prepare for a team, and then you get into the playoffs, which is all matchups, and that's where I think the Cavs are gonna pose the biggest problem, because if you look at any team in the conference, for example, if we start. When you get to a 7-game series, all it is about is, okay, you play game one, and then they say, okay, if we're playing the Pistons, we're going to take Kate Cunningham out. and we're gonna make them beat us with something they don't do well, which is shoot the three. Even though we were really bad, protecting from the three lately, in the latter part of before the All-Star break. But when it comes to the Cavs, okay, you're gonna take Donovan Mitchell away. Okay, we still have Harden, we still have Mobley, and we still have Allen. You're gonna take James Harden away. Okay, so Mitchell handles the ball and Harden gets off the ball. So I think that's where the thought of the building of this group is gonna come in, because then the bench comes in, and it's definitely right now there's no second unit better than what the Cavs have. If once you put Sam Merrill in the second unit, and then now you're really creating some issues. When Max Strus comes in, he really adapts to that style of play.
Yes.
Just running up and down and moving without the ball and just sitting in a corner and waiting for the ball. So I don't think there's a concern of having too much. And I think Mobley and Allen have been playing together long enough to do what they do. And remember also that the first time that Kenny goes to the bench, it's either to take Mitchell and Allen or Harden and Mobley, and he's gonna be switching the same thing the same thing he did with Garland and Don and the two big. He's always gonna take and keep two of those four guys on the court, and I think that's what the Cavs create the biggest problem for any opponent.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Rafa, just a couple quick fun things before we let you go, because I know you've been busy lately, and you're going to knock that Modelo back, and then
I'm enjoying it, man.
and then get some Z's. But Rafa, just some fun stuff. Again, I talked about it before. If people haven't really looked into your background, man, it's a lot of big stuff, right? You have done Super Bowls, you've done Final Fours, you've done I love that you are you've been the PA announcer when the NFL goes and does games in Mexico City.
Yeah, and we're going back this year. We're finally going back now that the World Cup is here.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Are you doing that?
I'm not doing the World Cup. No, it's just too much. I'm just gonna be hopefully as a fan. I know Brazil is coming to Cleveland on June 1st, which is a problem I hope to have, because June 2nd is game one of the final, so it might be a little hard. But hey, if Brazil is playing, you'll see me at Huntington Bank Field.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I don't know what are some of the big highlights? What are some of your very favorites when you look back?
It's always during the Super Bowl. I always get a chance to think back, and I had a chance to. And I'm sorry, Joe, I called the Steelers and the Seahawks Super Bowl that time, where the referees were wearing black and yellow.
As always.
But I had a chance to call the Super Bowl when the Giants beat the undefeated Patriots, and the helmet catch and the Plaxico Burress little bluebird. I called the '99 interception return by what's his name for the Steelers against the Arizona in Tampa, and the Antonio Holmes touchdown on the right corner, and everybody forgets that he had missed the left corner, Roethlisberger. So I've been lucky, really, because I called the first win in the Super Bowl by both Manning brothers, by Drew Brees, and a few, what's his name, Tom Brady Super Bowl. I think it's just. But the best moment,
Not a big deal.
Nah, right? The best story in 2005 or 6. Don't quote me on the years. I always forget about it. In Miami, Colts against the Bears.
Yes.
I almost lost my voice in the first play of the game because Hester, what's his name? Devin Hester returned the kickoff.
Yes.
For a touchdown. And I literally almost popped my vocal cords calling that touchdown, and I had to really take a break for
Had to dial it back, huh?
like a one whole drive just to get it back. But that halftime show, even nowadays, that the halftime shows have been in talk to everybody. Prince playing Purple Rain in the rain.
Yeah,
amazing.
Was just, there was nothing made up about it. It was just perfect. I mean, the Super Bowl with the Harbaugh brothers and Beyonce turning the lights off at the Superdome in New Orleans was just a classic one. When it comes to halftime shows,
do you know who hit the switch? You were there. Who hit the switch to turn the lights off?
I can tell you this. I was the first broadcast back on air in that Super Bowl. Because one of my friends working at a big electric contractor in Dallas, and he was one of our guests, so he got us back He got us back on the air before the TV was even back on it. So that was kind of cool. That's from the Super Bowl, from Final Fours. Every year it's something. Every year it's like I got to call the game where Virginia got eliminated in their first round, and then got to call the game the one they won in overtime, exactly 364 days after.
Yep.
And the Final Four is always great. It's kind of sad. I was talking today. I had an event with Keon Ellis, and I was talking about how I'm starting to feel old because now I'm calling games of dudes whose parents I call college games on.
Yes.
So Kenyon Martin is one of them. Like I called his games in Cincinnati when I was doing St. John's, and then he was with the Nets when I was with the Nets in Jersey, and now he's here. So his son is playing now. So it's with the Final Four, it's always that, and a lot of boxing events, a lot of boxing fights that are UFC 100 when it was starting to become a thing. And watching some of the old names. I'll never forget in Portland, UFC 103 with Minotauro Nogueira and what's his name? They got Captain America. He made a movie with Stallone. I forget. I always forget his name. But I was sitting octagon size, and they were holding each other from one hand right by the neck and then punching each other from the other side. And I couldn't tell what was cracking, if it was bones in the hand or bones in the face. So I was just new in the UFC, and I didn't know that Minotauro Nogueira had a twin brother, Minotauro Nogueira. So it was a really bloody fight.
Oh.
And I get to the locker room and I see Minotauro all cleaned up and shit. I'm like, wait a minute, how do you get to? And he went along. He didn't tell me it was his twin brother. And then the other guy came out and he was all bloodied up, and it was just amazing that the UFC was just I got to see Anderson Silva, Lyoto Machida,
that's awesome.
all the big names that are now like old school, and just. Boxing, Oscar De La Hoya, Cesar Chavez.
Oh,
yeah. With the NFL, it was just great, though. The NFL, I think the playoff is nothing compares to that.
Okay.
But Rafa, we could talk about all these legendary, iconic moments. We can talk about all these things that we all can sit and remember just like it's that. The helmet catch and Prince playing the Super Bowl and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to tell you, man, I don't know that it'd be possible for you to have a better call than Feliz Navidad. When John Kenzie Noel hit that home run in the playoffs to tie that game.
The funny thing about that is, I always tell people, it's not like I plan. I'm like, if this guy hits a home run, I'm going to do this. It was just the moment. And the backstory behind it is that before the game, Carlos and I always go down to the dugout to talk to the guys and, see how everything going. We're really good friends with Sandy Alomar. And John Kenzie was sitting in the dugout, and you could tell that he was a little pissed. So I went down and sat next to him, and I said, "What's up?" He goes, "My father is in town. He came to town to see me play for the first time, but he wasn't in the lineup." So he was like, so Carlos is telling him, go do your thing because people are watching you. And I remember saying to him, I said, "Listen, get ready because it's the playoff, and if you get called, it's gonna be for a big moment. It's not gonna be, to come pinch run. You're gonna come in to try." And that's exactly what happened, right? He came in the bottom of the ninth, and all against all the pitches that had been thrown away. Now that we're learning what our closer was doing at the time, and he put that ball out, and I swear to you, it happened twice. That the first time I went dark a little bit when I jumped off my chair. I lost the light, and I came back, and it was just I was doing the Feliz Navidad. Don't ask me why I started singing, Jose Feliciano. But then when David Fry hit the homer in extra inning, I'm not lying to you. I was really close to jumping off the window when I just jumped up, and half my body was out of the booth, and it was just something that you can't explain. Obviously, you hate that it didn't end because it would be a great story if we were talking about the parade and at least going to the World Series. But that night, I came home, and that kind of night, kind of like Game 7 in 2016. It takes me a while to kind of cool down and go to bed. So like around 1:30, somebody from the New York Times called me. And I never answer the phone when I don't know who it is, but it was just such a high. I picked it up, and he's like, I'm writing an article. Can I use your audio? I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And I looked at the thing. I'm not a social media person at all, but somebody posted it and sent it to me, the video, and we posted it. Had 1 million views before I even went to bed that night. And I went from being everybody seeing me and saying "see," because that's what came out of my mouth when Kyrie Irving hit that three over Curry. It became my license plate. And my wife always hates it. She goes, "You better behave when you're driving because everybody knows it's you with that license plate." And she's kind of right. And now everybody sees me and everybody's like, "Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad." Yes. So yeah, it sucks that he's not with us anymore because we had a lot of fun with John Kenzie. He's a big boy, and hopefully he's gonna find a place where he can play every day, and it'd be fun. But yeah, that's the great thing about sports. It's like I have the luxury I'm allowed and I'm paid to watch the game with a mic on. It's really what it comes down to, and I have had really, really good luck to be in moments that are just like unforgettable. Unfortunately, my Jets never made it to the Super Bowl. They lost to AFC Championship when I was there, and but yeah, it's that's one of the things that kind of made me come to Cleveland because for so long I have worked for the league or for the station, so I never really had any investment on who won or lost. The only time that I remember being actually annoyed or pissed about it was a game between the Cowboys and I think it was the Seahawks, where Romo fumbled the snap on an extra point or something, and then he tried to run it, and he was short. And I was doing the game from the studios, and I used to live like 25 minutes from the studio, and I was like 5 minutes from home. And I realized I was bothered by it, and I was like, "Why am I even pissed off about this? I don't care who wins or loses, but it's just the way it happened, But coming to Cleveland and watching the guys practice every day, the wins are so much more delicious, but the losses really suck. And I don't care if people tell me, "Oh, your name is not in the score sheet, you shouldn't care about it." Like, you know what? I care, man. It's my guys, it's my team. And I hate to lose. Nobody likes to win. Nobody likes to lose, right? So it's just I don't care if my name will never be on the score sheet, but I'm still gonna care about the way these guys do because I see them work hard every day. And if they didn't, I would say, "Yeah, you know what? You have it coming to you." But these guys work their asses off every day, and unfortunately, only one guy can win, and it's a lucky and good guy. So we'll try again. We'll try again this year, and if it doesn't happen, we'll come back and try it again next year too.
There's always next year, Rafa. That's all right.
Yeah.
We've said that a long time. We've said that a long time here in Cleveland, Rafa. All right, man. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you get to bed. But it was so fun catching up with you. We won't make it another few years between these catch-ups. As again, it's a great time having a beer and talking sports with you, Rafa. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you doing this, especially during your busy schedule. And we look forward to catching some of the Spanish flair that you bring to our Cleveland sports teams for the rest of this Cavs season, man. We hope it ends with one of those big moments.
Thank you, man. I have it written down in my calendar for episode 543, but if you want to invite me before that, it's okay.
Set a reminder. That's a reminder.
See you in London next year. The Browns are in London, baby. Come on.
Oh.
Hey, you get us signed up for assistance. We'll come with you, and we'll give you some assistance on the broadcast. Yeah.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, Rafa. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Big shout out to our buddy Rafa Hernandez-Brito for coming on with us and talking about the Cavs and life and all that. And again, we're very lucky. It's what we talk about all the time here on the show, guys. We have these broadcasters here in Cleveland, and we've been fortunate to have some here on this show. A lot of Tom Hamilton and a lot of the guys from the Guardians, Rosie and Andre Knott and all those guys have come on. And we
just had the anniversary of Joe Tate.
Yeah,
Joe, like a day or two ago.
Joe Tate back in 2020. One of was that 21? 21.
21.
21. So yeah, 5 years ago, we talked to the legendary Joe Tate, but since then we've talked to pretty much the entire Cavs broadcast team. The Browns broadcast team that we have become friends with, especially Nathan there. Just we're very lucky to have him. And then you look at the accomplishments of a guy like Rafa. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. He's done all of the biggest games that you could possibly do in all of the sports. That is how trusted a voice Rafa is internationally. And we're just lucky to have him here just doing his thing full time with us in Cleveland. So big shout out to him for coming on and joining us tonight on episode 302. We promise, Rafa, we will not make it episode 542 for the next one. All right, boys. Before we transition into some final just topics we want to hit on here on episode 302, let's dive into our asshole of the week.
Let's dive into our assholes.
Let's dive into our asshole.
Dive on in.
The
Water's fine.
Talk about things or people or groups or whatever that's just been an asshole this week.
Yeah.
And Chad, you look ready, man. You look ready with an asshole of the week this week. So I'm going to throw it to you.
Oh, it's part of the reason why I'm hitting the hard stuff. I'm just going to go the government and all the taxes they take away from us. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's
a bitch, isn't it?
Like, I mean, I understand like some taxes, but like, others, when you feel like you do everything right, like just let me have some of it. Can I have some? Can I keep some of my money? That'd be great. Fuck you.
No, you can't. Chad, I think that is going to be the single most popular asshole of the week of all time. That is the universal asshole.
Right. Right.
It's that and Johnny Manziel. Everybody hates him.
Everybody. Yeah.
Joe, asshole of the week.
The finger.
Huh?
The asshole, the finger in the asshole.
Wow.
No, well,
that's amazing.
No, the Canadian curling guy.
Flipping a didge.
The
Oh, the
Canadian
finger
curling guy. The finger.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
The
what?
blatant finger push of The Rock
Oh,
curling guy.
against Sweden, I think, right?
little
The
Brent Stickler.
men's group event.
Yes.
Yeah, he gave, you let go of The Rock. You have to let go on the handle, but clearly on the replay, he does a little finger push. And I actually did see some funny TikToks of like how everybody sets things down in Canada. And it's like they set down like the remote and then just give a little push of the finger at the end.
But it's the Olympics, right? So I'm sitting there wondering because it's pretty blatant. And obviously there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what the hell's happening here?
I think that was Sweden's issue with it was like, how are we not calling
But
this?
no, it's not the issue. The issue is there's no officiating or anything in curling. It is curling is a gentleman's game. That's what they call it. It is self-officiated. So even in the Olympics, it is self-officiated. It is, and really, the funny thing about the way that it's supposed to go is that when you screw up, you're supposed to call yourself on it. And it's actually frowned upon to call out the other team.
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to call themselves out. Well, they were not calling themselves out. Some people were like, well, Sweden needs to get over it. I'm like, no, man, we're in the Olympics.
No.
And I'm watching you cheat. I'm watching you cheat.
It's weird hearing a Canadian. It's weird hearing a Canadian be mean. He's like, you can fuck off, eh? You can fuck off.
I will say, yes, exactly. Because like if he was like, oh yeah, my bad. I unintentionally did that, whatever. But he like was fighting them back on it, and it was just like
it was clear video evidence.
I will show you the tape after this match.
Total dick. Dick. That guy
coming in fist bumping his Canadian. He's like, yeah, you told him to fuck off. Yeah, I thought it. I said it. I'm awesome, eh?
That might be your first ever Canadian asshole of the week. So shout out there, Joe. Shout out there. All right, that brings it to me. My asshole of the week are just narratives. It's specifically Cleveland sports related. And really, frankly, it's specifically Cleveland media driven. It just is so frustrating to watch how things get reported and how people talk about things and how nobody has any goddamn common sense about anything. And everybody's always just looking to make things bigger than what it is. And like, you only have to look back at like the Browns coaching search and everybody's like, well, the Browns clearly messed up that whole search because like one reporter was like, and it's always the same guy. It's always the same stupid ass guy for the Browns who's like Voldemort to me at this point. I won't name him, but he's been covering the Browns for like 100 years, and he's always the one that does the dumbest stuff and says the dumbest stuff, and yet somehow he still gets paid to do this bullshit. There's a reason you're never going to see him on this show, and it's because if he asked me to come on this show, I would hang up on him. I would delete the email. Get the hell out of here. It's just the narratives. It's the stupid garbage. But the problem is when it's people that are paid to talk about it, then it gives fans some kind of idea that what the people are talking about is based in some sort of merit and truth. And it's not. It's not. And then this defensive coordinator thing happens, and it's the same narratives. Or stuff goes on with the Cavs or the Guardians. It's the same narratives, and it's usually from the same people. And it's like people can't think with their own brains, and it just drives me crazy because it gets people worked up, and then it makes it so that I don't even want to like talk about Cleveland sports. You know what I mean? Like I give so much credit to these people that can go on Twitter day in and day out and post 100 times and just stay in it because I try to be really active and involved on there because I like being a part of the conversation. But there's times like this last weekend, there's times where I'm just like, I can't look anymore. I can't even look at this anymore because it's all just a bunch of morons who are feeding terrible information to people and making them also be morons. I don't know. The whole narratives thing just drives me crazy.
That's why you rarely ever see me quote tweet or comment on things like that, right? Because in my head, every time I interact with them, I'm putting money in their pocket. So it's like my little kind of like rebellious way not to. I mean, there are sometimes I can't help myself but comment or quote tweet.
Correct, 100%.
But like that's why I try my hardest not to. I tried like I did. There's times I bite my tongue clean off from when I look at some of these things. But I just know that the only reason that they're still around is because people interact with it, good or bad, agree or disagree. People interact with them, and that's what keeps these people around. That's what keeps these people getting paid. Well, so that's why you'll rarely ever see me quote tweet or comment because I don't want to put money in their pockets. I just don't. I just because I know when I get in too deep, I'll just say something stupid and fly off the handle, and then I'll start a whole war. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't have the time or energy to do that.
And can I be petty for a minute?
Yeah.
We've been sitting here like I don't think we deserve anything. We don't.
No.
We come on here and we do this for fun. It's never been about anything other than that.
Right.
And we've always said like, oh, if anything ever happens with the show, that'd be cool. But it's not about that. It's just come on, have fun. Let's talk sports or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I watch some of these people that are given like a platform almost by the teams they cover, and then when we talk to those same teams, we're told we don't. I have had a conversation with certain teams where I was basically told we don't deal with people like you. I had a high-ranking person on a team tell me once that they're not going to deal with me because I don't have like a degree in journalism. I was on the phone with this person because they were threatening me. And I said, whoa, time out. Before we continue this conversation, I do have a degree in journalism and communications, and I have a master's degree in sports management. And what else would you like to talk about?
Did you add bitch at the end of it? I said bitch.
I said it in the bitch tone. I said it in that tone as they were berating me about something. And I thought, no wonder you get what you get. You get the opinion of your organization that you get. We all know who we're talking about here, but it's just annoying. And they get credence, and then good, hardworking people. It's not even us. It's other people. It's these people that we work with at the OBR, or it's other people that don't. And it's stupid. So the narratives and all that, and then the way it gets treated, it's all bullshit, and I don't like it. So that's my asshole of the week. All right, let's move on to non-asshole things. Boys, let's talk a little hockey. But we're not going to talk NHL hockey. We're going to talk Olympic hockey because our American teams, you see it here. Listen, I know, I don't remember whether it was last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. I know you saw me in my Sweden jersey because I am a proud person of Swedish heritage. However, when the hockey game came on today, and it was the United States men versus Team Sweden in the quarterfinals in the Olympics, I got my USA stuff on. We're America first. And man, oh man, what a game. And really what a game in both semifinals, or both quarterfinals involving the North American teams. Canada was locked in a great game. They won that one in overtime. And then the U.S. in their quarterfinal game today against Sweden gets a ridiculous goal from Quinn Hughes in overtime. But the U.S. men's national team is making their way into the semifinals of the Olympics, and they will take on Slovakia. Canada is going to play Finland in their semifinal matchup, and we may be on a crash course here. Gold medal game, U.S. and Canada, but boys, this U.S. team has really kind of picked it up a little bit. That was a really tough Sweden team that they took out today, and man, this Olympics has just been so fun to watch on the ice.
Dude, what a war. I mean, what a war. I mean, just two teams full of NHLers. I mean, really, you could put Sweden and Sweden, Finland, and the U.S. really kind of match up really well talent-wise.
Yes.
And it paid dividends today because you saw that. I mean, it was just this back and forth game. I mean, it was a low-scoring game, but with all of the quality chances that both of these teams had, and with the quality goaltending that was on display today.
Yes.
And then it seemed like a lot of those quality chances too were broken up by incredible defensive plays, whether it be a stick check, whether it be a diving block, whether it be just I don't know, just getting your body in the passing lanes, or Hellebuck making a huge save in traffic. Like it was unbelievable. Big hits, like skillful plays. Like it was an awesome game, like edge of your seat type of game today with the U.S. and Sweden. Unbelievable.
Well, guys, the U.S. gets that goal. It's 1-0. It's 1-0 for the majority of the matchup. And then in true, I felt like I was watching a damn Blue Jackets game. In true, Zach Werenski had to be out there like, oh God, in true Blue Jackets fashion, or at least the former iteration of the Blue Jackets.
Is Dean coaching this team?
Not the current Blue Jackets, but the former iteration. In true fashion, Sweden scores with, what was that, like 2 minutes left, whatever it was. And they get a good goal. Man, I don't even know how that puck got through the space that it got through. You could even tell Hellebuck was like, he didn't think the puck went in the net. He felt it hit him. He thought he stopped it.
Yeah.
And it ties up. They go to overtime, and especially in the Olympics, that 3-on-3, man, that is when you talk about edge of your seats, guys, that's when it gets true edge. You feel like somebody's going to score every time they have the, when the U.S. had the puck and they didn't score, I was like, shit, they lost.
Here it goes,
Game over. Because 3-on-3, I feel like it's just a goal's happening. And
10 minutes of 3-on-3 is wild too.
Oh.
Does it go to shootout after that?
5-round. It would have been a 5-round shootout if no one scored in that 10.
I would love to see that in the championship game.
Yeah,
that would be sick.
No, I'm good.
You want me to have a heart attack, Joe? That's what you want. You just want us to have a heart attack?
Yeah, it'd be epic. Oh my gosh.
Can we get what's his face back? That took all the shootouts.
Oh, TJ Oshie. He's broadcasting.
I know
he's on the broadcast.
He can lace it up. He's there.
Yeah.
No, it was unbelievable, and again, that's a huge battle for them. Listen, Slovakia is not going to be a slouch in the semifinal. Pretty good Slovakia team. I do think maybe Sweden's a bit of a tougher test.
Yes.
For the U.S. than Slovakia.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, I think Finland will be a good test for Canada.
Dude.
But guys, give it a little bit of time, and we could be hopefully watching the U.S. in the gold medal game of the men's hockey.
So Sid got hurt today, right? But he's going to play against Finland.
Probably.
They're not sure.
Well,
really?
I mean, he'll probably suit up. Just Toradol's a wonderful drug.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug,
dude. Honestly, when your goal lines read McKinnon from McDavid and Crosby, what the fuck are you supposed to do with that?
Right.
Nothing. There's nothing you're going to be able to do with that. So
you got Macklin Celebrini out there tearing it up.
Yeah,
he scored. He scored in their quarterfinal game, I think.
Yeah.
What a stud.
I felt bad for Czechia today, though, man. They had that goal. They had it in the bag, and then Suzuki gets
Yeah.
And I was wondering, you still thought like that Czechia would have had a chance in overtime because with the way they were playing. But man, oh man, it was that probably would have been the most disappointing Canadian Olympic hockey loss in decades, at least decades, at least since 1980 or after 1980, for sure.
You guys talk hockey for a minute. I forgot to plug my computer in, and it's about to die.
Have you watched any of it, Joe?
Emery.
I have. He's back.
But yeah, no. I mean, if you look at the Finns, man, they've got some rock star NHL players too. I mean, Aho, you've got Teravainen, you've got the only question that you have is the goaltending, right? Saros is normally a really great goalie. I mean, Joe, you've seen him a lot too, but he's struggled a bit this year. So that I think that's my one concern is their goaltending. Otherwise, that if Finland can muddy this game up, they can give themselves a chance because with how good Finland is, Canada is just full of superstars. You just got to hope for the best. But yeah, if I was Finland, I would make that just an all-out street fight to try and win that game.
Boys, let's take it to the other U.S. hockey team because I don't know that we're spending enough time talking about what is happening with the United States women's hockey team and what they are doing. They are in the gold medal game, and that game happens tomorrow, February 19th, which also happens to be your boy's birthday. And I'm hoping the women bring home the gold on the birthday. That would be a great birthday present for me. But they play Canada tomorrow in the gold medal game. And boys, can I run you through really quickly their Olympic journey? I'd like to run you through their Olympic journey. The U.S. women's hockey team with prominently featuring one Layla Edwards from Cleveland Heights, just an absolute stud of a human being and a brilliant hockey player. But let me tell you about their journey. Their first game, they've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They played 6 games. The gold medal game will be their 7th. Their first game, they played Czechia. They won that game 5-1. That's the last time anybody has scored against the United States in the Olympics. They then beat Finland 5-0. They beat Switzerland 5-0. They beat Canada 5-0. They beat Italy 5-0. And they beat Sweden in the semifinal game 5-0. They have outscored their opponents in the Olympics 31-1. That is Team USA on the women's side. I have to imagine, listen, you don't want to assume anything. If you're the coach of Team Canada, you're talking about, all right, this can be our miracle moment, basically, because that's what this is. Team Canada, I know we're talking about Team Canada on the men's side, boys, but Team Canada on the women's side is an outstanding hockey team, and they really have no shot in the gold medal game unless one of those miracle situations happen. They did that. The U.S. and Canada did like the 4-city tour. They came to Cleveland. I went to that game with our buddy Matt Pfeffer from 614 Hockey down there. And I think the U.S. won that game 6-0. The U.S. and Canada did that 4-city tour, and the U.S., the average margin of victory was like 7 goals. I think there was one game they beat them like 12-1. And so Canada never beat the U.S. on that tour. They obviously lost in the Olympics to them 5-0. But guys, we need to give a little bit of love to the U.S. women's Olympic hockey team because it's one of the most dominant performances. Like hockey's one of those, you're used to watching the Olympics and you're used to seeing like world records and Olympic records and all that. And they don't, you don't get world records in hockey per se. But man, this is about as close to a world record performance as you're going to see out of a hockey team. This women's team's amazing.
Can't think of a tournament that a team's had that much of a differential in scoring.
31-1 in
one
hockey?
goal
Yeah.
against every other game scoring 5 goals, which is nuts. I mean, it's just, is it going to be a competition tomorrow? Probably not. I mean, this team's just playing on a different level. Throw them in against Latvia.
Like the men?
Yeah.
Do it. Roll with it.
All right.
Honestly, I mean, they're just playing so far
Latvia
above.
Elvis will give up 3 goals to him.
Latvia's just out here catching strays.
Playing at an incredible level. Like that is just, it's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
They've had just completely dominant performances every single match they've played. Like it's been a great just highlight for US in the Olympics, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, and the shit talking too. Like I remember in the
Yes.
round robin game, like just I forget who it was, but after scoring that goal and basically just sending that Canadian player's face like through the Earth's crust with a hit, and then just giving her one of these at the end, like what? Yeah, what? You could tell it's just the U.S. women's team is playing with their confidence at an all-time high, and I don't know. I don't know that this Canadian team can beat them tomorrow, right? I mean, the Canadian team is about a lot of older veteran players, and the U.S. is a lot of younger, high energy type kids, and we'll see. It's going to be quite the interesting matchup tomorrow. But I mean, I think the U.S. is going to come out on top.
Listen, if you're a U.S. hockey Olympic fan, you never say it can't happen because of what the U.S. did in 1980. But again, that would be the level of upset it would take. The U.S. is basically Russia in this situation, and Canada is that 80 team. That's the level of upset it would be for Canada to beat this team. Again, 31-1 goal differential, and the U.S. is going to come out. That's the best part about this team is there is shit talking. They do know how good they are, but they always back it up. It's unbelievable to watch.
You see, Ohio State's the only college represented on both teams. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, on both the U.S. and Canada. There's like 12 players, 15 players between the two that go to Ohio State. It's pretty sick.
I don't remember what time that game. It's like 2-3 o'clock tomorrow.
1:10.
1:10.
Yeah.
But I will be tuned in to that.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Any other interesting things happened from last week to this week in the Olympics that you remember or want to talk about? I will say one of the funniest things. I'll start here.
Okay.
Not funny, not for her. Obviously, we're rooting for her. But obviously, Chloe Kim, the amazing snowboarder in the half pipe. Did you see the meme that came out? So Chloe Kim won the gold 2 Olympics ago in the half pipe. She won it the last Olympics in the half pipe. And so somebody did a timeline and it said, because you know who Chloe Kim is, that's Myles Garrett's girlfriend. It said 2018 gold medal half pipe.
Oh, the Cleveland Browns.
2022 gold medal half pipe. 2025 starts dating Cleveland Brown. 2026 silver medal in the half
pipe. Yeah. I saw that one. Those guys going out of control on the moguls. Did you see that? Did you guys see that?
Oh no!
Yeah, just out of control on the moguls. Just kind of like they landed wrong and they stumbled and they like flipped around and went back. The guy finished the run backwards.
He won the race backwards.
He won the race backwards.
It was amazing.
Way.
I saw a funny caption with that. If you watch the clip, it'll make it funnier. If you haven't seen it, it might not be as funny. But it's the one clip said me telling my wife that I got everything under control at home.
Hey,
I will say that the dual mogul races have been cool. I think that's new this year. That's a pretty fun event to watch.
Yeah, there's certain events that I always kind of forget about in the Winter Olympics, and then they happen. And I'm like, oh shit, I love that like short track. It's almost like roller derby speed skating.
Yeah,
right. The short track speed skating where there's like 8 of them out there at one time, and they just all go crashing into everybody. That is wild to watch. It's a blast. But again, over the next week, be coming up on the end of the Olympics. I'm sure we'll have some wrap ups next week. But boys. One last topic that I have, just because we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it before we get out of here, and that's we've had some news with the Cleveland Browns over the last week, and so just want to hit on some of this stuff. One, after another search process, the Browns coaching staff is coming into form as they land on Mike Ruttenberg he was like the pass game defensive coach for the Atlanta Falcons, but this guy that's been around for a long time. He's like a Robert Saleh
Protege.
Yeah, protege. But I think there's a running theme with their coaches that they've hired, and especially now Todd Monken and Ruttenberg, who this is a major hire, right? Todd Monken's offensive coordinator is a guy that needs to gel with Todd Monken, and they need to be on the same page. But Todd Monken's going to be running that offense. We already know he's going to be calling plays. The defensive coordinator is critical here, and I think the hiring of Ruttenberg is indicative of what the Browns have tried to accomplish in this whole entire coaching search, which is we want guys that are going to come out and get the best out of the players that we put on the field, that aren't going to try to pigeon players into systems. That was Todd Monken's entire philosophy as far as offensively. He talked about, I'm not here to try to run one system or another. I'm here to evaluate the players out there, and then we'll run a system as we need to. Defensively, that is the MO for Ruttenberg. That's a solid thing. That is, I don't anticipate a ton of changes to this defense. They're going to still try to get a lot of pressure. They're still going to be really aggressive, but there's certainly going to be some implemented changes for the defense, but it's not going to be about trying to run a system. It's going to be about looking at the players that are out there and trying to get the best out of those players. And I think between that and from everything I've heard about this dude's interviews, that he just blew them away with just kind of his mind for adapting and coming up with new things that aren't just by the book kind of situations. And it really just feels like that's what the Browns were looking for in this search. So Mike Ruttenberg, again, probably the next most important coach on the Browns coaching staff, next to Todd Monken. If Monken's going to be very focused on that offense, this was a big hire for them. And I don't know. It's one of those things where I know, guys, it's hard to react to, because I know neither one of you know a ton about Mike Ruttenberg, right? I mean, outside of what you've read since they hired him.
Mike Rosenbagger. Mike
Gardenhoser.
Rude. Yeah, but I mean, everything you've read about him is encouraging. I forget, there was someone in the NFL too that also said he has a PhD in pass coverage knowledge as well. So I mean, yeah, obviously everything you read about him, you like. You know, I've even watched a clip of him mic'd up at Jets practice as well, or when they were coaching the Senior Bowl or Hula Bowl, something like that. Sure, yeah, everything sounds encouraging, but ultimately, you know, the results on the field are what's going to matter. And I do like the fact that it's, you know, of taking the philosophy of we're going to evaluate our players and then put them in a system, use them to the best of their abilities, let them do what they do best, and work a system around that. So I like that. I like them not being pigeonholed. I think that philosophy allows a defense and players to play more free. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Whether he's a good coach or not, I have no idea, because nobody's going to know that until we see what's on the field. But certainly everything that you've read and heard about him leading up to this hire is encouraging for sure.
Boys, the other Browns news that I want to hit on real quick before we do our cheers of the week and wrap up episode 302 here. But we're going to start. We're starting to see the exodus of some longtime beloved Cleveland Browns. Since our last time we did a show, David Njoku has written his goodbye letter to the city of Cleveland, which, that, to be honest with you, that was a tough pill for me to swallow, because not many players have really taken. Not many players. Maybe the best way I can explain how I feel about David Njoku is he's a guy that I would have assumed did not like it here. Like, if I was just making an assumption about a guy, he's a pretty flashy dude. He went to Miami. He is a guy that I would have expected to come in here if I was just making assumptions and be like, all right, let me just do my time in Cleveland and then go somewhere else. And that was the opposite of David Njoku, man. That dude loved the city of Cleveland. He loved it's not even about the Browns. He loved being a part of this community, and he was a part of this community. He was ingrained in this community. David Njoku is going to be moving on. He'll be playing football somewhere else. And then today, it came out. Now, this isn't a super surprise, but it came out today. The Wyatt Teller said his goodbye to the city of Cleveland as well. He will be jumping into the free agency pool, and he will not be returning to the Cleveland Browns. So Wyatt Teller and David Njoku both leaving the Browns. Guys, just thoughts on two guys. Wyatt Teller, I think you could say the same thing. Wyatt Teller very much ingrained himself into the city of Cleveland. Wyatt Teller, I think both of those guys were culture drivers for the Browns when they were before the whole fucking Deshaun Watson thing. They were culture drivers for the Browns. Hold on, I want to say this. Hey guys in the chat, we're here. I'm sorry. There haven't been a lot of comments, to be honest. No big deal. There actually was a little glitch in getting the show posted to the right places. And so I see you here. Like, I know, Chef Brian K., you're going to go work on some Callahan brake pads in the garage. We're not pre-recorded. We're not day drinking, although I wish I was today. But we're here, and we love you guys. So don't
I
get
make
it wrong.
car parts for the American working man.
We're not ignoring you guys. There's been some technical issues on our end, so sorry about the chat situation, but we still love you guys.
Because that's who I am, and that's who I care about.
Yeah, listen, boys. It's weird to see a bit of an exodus for some of these players that, like, I really wanted David Njoku. I kind of figured Wyatt Teller would go at some point. I kind of wanted David Njoku to just stay here just because, but that will not be the case. And it's going to be some really new looking Cleveland Browns, especially offensively next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. David Njoku, yeah, it was kind of weird with him, right? All signs pointed to him wanting out, but then, once they redid his contract and figured out a new contract to have him stay here, he really ingrained himself into the community. Mike, you and I saw him at at the playoff game we did with St. Ignatius and Medina.
Oh my gosh,
right?
remember that?
Yeah, he was
in the student section, just chilling.
Yeah, and then, I mean, obviously in Cleveland, we love people who are one of us, right? We love people who love this city, who really embrace this city. And no, I don't think anybody on this Browns team really has done that more than Wyatt and Carly Teller. He proposed to Carly at the 50-yard line of Brown Stadium, right? Carly was very active in the community with women and doing Pilates everywhere. And
well, listen, you could think you could think some of the stuff that gets done is corny. It is what it is. But think about the fact that Wyatt and Carly Teller took the time to send out Christmas cards to people every day.
Yeah.
All you had to do was basically DM Carly on Twitter, and they would literally just personally send you a Christmas card.
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable. That's an unbelievable gesture.
Yeah, I don't think there's a Brown, at least in recent memory since 1999, that's opened up their family to the community like Carly and Wyatt have. I mean, we know, it feels like we know everything about their kids, right? Because they're constantly posting about them. They're constantly putting it out there. So, yeah,
consummate Clevelanders and Browns.
Yeah. So they will be missed, but it's ultimately the NFL's a business, and we're going to have a new person to see if they can endear themselves to this city here soon.
I'll say it's just going to be so damn interesting to see what they do with this offensive line.
Yeah.
Jack Conklin, gone.
Bye.
Please.
Postage
should have been gone 3 years ago.
Teller gone. Now they've extended the time frame for Bitonio to make his decision. So that at least tells you that he hasn't told them he's retiring, but he's also a free agent. Like, he could go somewhere else. Or he could decide he wants to play here again. We'll see. DeJuan Jones, you can't. There's no banking on that dude. You can't bank on that guy. No. All of a sudden, he's just going to be healthy. And so, boys,
or good.
We'd be looking at 5 offensive linemen.
Yeah,
that they got to replace now. Are we comfortable with Whippler out there at center? Sure, probably. There's nobody, Tevin Jenkins is probably going to get, I would imagine they'll look at Tevin Jenkins again and maybe have him as like a right guard, which is fine. But man, free agency hits for me. I don't want to make the draft all about offensive linemen because I think it's the wrong way to do things. I mean, in my opinion, you fix holes on your team through free agency and trades, and then you add talent through the draft, right? That's how I would approach it if I was a GM. The draft is not, I don't want to use the draft to fix holes because the draft is a crapshoot.
Sure. Right.
No matter what, the draft is a crapshoot. And so I don't want to use that to fill holes. So man, I really hope they get into free agency and the trade market and use that to fill some of those holes on the offensive line so they can just go get good ass players in the NFL draft. That's my hope. But it's a lot of work to do on that offensive line. It's a lot of work ahead of Andrew Berry. We did get a question from Sean in the comments. So here you go. Here's a viewer question. I don't know if you guys have you seen the CJ Stroud rumors?
I have not.
Okay.
No.
So first and foremost,
and no.
I don't think these are rumors. So I want to say this first and foremost, Sean. I don't think these are rumors. I think this was something that got posted on Twitter and then people just started talking about it. And I think that's all this is. I don't think there is any indication whatsoever that the Houston Texans are just going to dump CJ Stroud. I don't think so at all. Having said that, somebody posed a question of like, would you trade the 24th pick to Houston for CJ Stroud?
No.
Okay. Chad, give me your answer, and then I'll let you know what I think.
No.
Okay. It's not a one-word goddamn. It's a podcast, Chad.
You said
Not a one-word
you told me to answer it, and I answered it. God damn it!
Why not?
Because it seems like after his rookie year, he's become a shell of himself. I know there are other factors at play or that surrounding that, but it just seems like he hasn't gotten back. It seems like he's lost all of his confidence. Not like to the level of Deshaun Watson, but it just seems like it feels like the Texans have won in spite of him over the last couple of years instead of actually winning because of him. So yeah, I'm good. Like I feel like we have CJ Stroud of the last 2 years. I feel like we have him in a possible what Shedeur Sanders could be. So yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I like Chris's comment too that we got fleeced by Houston already. Somebody else. Look at somebody else, please.
Yeah.
No, I'm good on that too. Like I agree. That's a great way to phrase that, Chad. Like, that is kind of what we, year one.
Unbelievable. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we would expect Deshaun Watson to turn into. Like that's kind of the hope. And so why would you kind of just replace with what you might also be able to just grow internally, like develop internally? Mike, you're very flustered.
Please tell me you mentioned you mentioned her, Sanders. Please tell me you mentioned her, Sanders. You said Deshaun Watson.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah, you stupid asshole. Yes.
God, I washed my mouth out with soap. Sorry about that.
All right, can I give you my opinion?
No.
Sure.
You guys are fucking crazy. Are you fucking crazy? I will absolutely trade a first round pick for CJ Stroud. 100%. All day, every day, twice on Tuesdays. 100%. And I agree with Chef. Yeah, I think he would cost more than that. I don't know what he would cost. I don't know how much I would trade. I don't know after that gross guy that is acting like he's getting back into playing shape, even though he's vacationing in Italy like an idiot. After that guy, sorry, I hate Deshaun Watson. After they mortgage their future for that move, I think Andrew Berry would be very cautious to just mortgage the future again. But if it was the question, the thing was Houston would want the 24th pick for CJ Stroud. Yes, sign me up all day. Take the 24th pick. I'm not going to find a better quarterback at 24. I think you guys are absolutely off your flipping rockers that he is anything like Shedeur Sanders. Like, listen, I'm not going to bash. I would like them. Oh my God. I would like Yes, really. I would like the Cleveland Browns, if things are the way they are right now, and there isn't going to be some big trade for a player, I would like the Cleveland Browns to give Shedeur Sanders the chance to prove something next year. But he was terrible this year. He was worse than terrible. He was the worst.
Hey, he got you there.
What are you talking about?
He got you there.
The Pro Bowl, Mike.
Bro. As my son would look at me and say, bruh. He was the apparently in the Pro Bowl, the worst quarterback in the NFL gets to go. And I support Shedeur Sanders. I want them to give him a chance. I want to see where it goes with him because I think he's got a lot of intriguing things about his game, but it doesn't fix the fact that when push comes to shove, he was the worst quarterback in the NFL this year. That is what happened.
You know what? It doesn't matter who you put back there, though. If you're not drafting offensive line, if you're not bolstering that offensive line, none of this matters. You can bring in CJ Stroud. You can bring in Tom Brady out of retirement. It literally doesn't matter.
Two different conversations.
You have to save that pick, and you have to draft offensive linemen and offensive weapons.
No. I see. This is where I disagree. No.
Yes.
Chad, go.
So all I'm hearing basically from you is you would trade the 24th pick for CJ Stroud because he's better than whatever else we got. Like you don't it doesn't. There's nothing. There's nothing that you just told me there that is going to elevate this team to the next level. This is a franchise quarterback.
I think CJ Stroud comes in and immediately battles Baker Mayfield for the best quarterback the Browns have had since they've come back. Immediately. But no, we're talking about a guy. I know his rookie year and his second year, both very great years. Over 4,000 yards his rookie year, 3,800 and some. He throws way more touchdowns than interceptions, although he still throws enough interceptions to show you that he's trying to push the ball into certain pockets. Again, no interceptions is bad. I want some interceptions to show that you're trying to push the ball into certain pockets. This year, it wasn't great, but this year, there were a lot of things that happened in Houston that caused some offensive instability, especially injuries to those wide receivers. And yet, they get to the playoffs, and CJ Stroud was a big part of that. I
don't think he was a big part of that playoff
defense
push.
Was really what got
that
them.
Defense brought them to the playoffs.
Yeah, sure, but whoa, time out. Time the fuck out. Time the fuck out, you two. Whose defense is better, the Browns or the Texans?
It's
the
not
Texans.
The question at hand.
That's not true at all. What are you talking about? Yeah, the Browns defense is significantly better than the Texans.
Just because the Texans were the number one defense in the NFL this year. But that's
did the Browns push for the playoffs?
Did the Browns play in the AFC South? No.
If the Browns would have played the AFC South, would they have made the playoffs?
Possible. Absolutely possible.
No, they wouldn't have. They lost to the Titans. They lost to the Tennessee Titans.
Okay, let's get back to this now. CJ's gotten worse every single year that he's played.
CJ Stroud, his first and second years were pretty comparable to one another, and this year his receivers were all hurt.
No,
who's the receiver? Is it Nico Collins? When did he play this year?
No, they weren't comparable. And by the way, you saying he throws way more touchdowns than he throws interceptions is bullshit. He threw 20 and 12 his second year. He threw 19 and 8 this year. He's gotten progressively worse every single year that he's played.
19 is way more than 8.
Oh yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But he doesn't throw no picks, right? He's not a guy that's gonna no.
That's 20. What I don't want no picks. That somebody that goes out there and throws one interception is probably also only throwing 7 touchdowns. I don't want that. I want a guy that's I'm cool with some picks. It's a thing I'm cool with Shedeur Sanders on. But to act like CJ Stroud hasn't been a pretty damn good NFL quarterback to this point in his career is wild. And to be honest with you,
he's like Baker. He's been fine.
But without the kind of annoying frustrations of Baker. I think that's fair, a fair comparison. I think CJ Stroud's a fair comparison to Baker. I think that's actually a pretty damn good comparison.
Sure. Look, he's been fine, right? And honestly,
he's been above average.
And honestly, if you're telling me like, okay, let me backtrack a little bit here. Compared to Deshaun and Shedeur, would I take CJ? Sure, but he doesn't move the needle for me so much that I'm going, oh yeah, we're going to the playoffs. Yeah, we found a franchise quarterback in CJ Stroud. Like he doesn't move the needle enough for that for me. I would be happier. I would be cool with it. I would be cool with it, but it's like he doesn't excite me.
Also, like
if they come out
are the
with that
Browns even in a
announcement,
position to make that kind of move right now? Like,
why would they not be?
well, you're not really in a win first playoff now mindset with this team. Like, gonna go through a bit of a rebuild yet again. Maybe not defensively, but I also have to plug in my computer, so apologies for all this noise. But you are absolutely retooling this entire offense. You have no wide receivers. You have one tight end. You have no offensive line. So what is a quarterback going to do?
Brother, CJ Stroud is 24 years old. This isn't. He's not like 30. It's not like a 30-year-old where you're like you can't build your team around him.
I like to build it and they will come kind of thing. Build a good offense and then get the quarterback.
Okay, but there's a chicken and an egg conversation to be had here, because you can say build the offense and the quarterback, but what happens? You only get
evolution. Just get the offense first. We know that.
You only get a limited shelf life on Quinshon Judkins. He's only going to be here for so long. We thought Nick Chubb was going to be here for a dozen years. He wasn't. Nick Chubb's career ended like that. Quinshon Judkins, you only have for so long. You're only going to have Harold Fannin for so long. Whoever you bring in, let's say they draft Mekhi Lemon. That is my preferred pick at number 6. I hope Mekhi Lemon is there for them to take, and I hope they take him. He's only got so much of a shelf life. You don't have time to say, well, let's grab this here and do this here and have these guys play with bad quarterback play and expect them to be okay. When in reality, what have we seen? We've seen guys get run out of town by bad situations too. You have to.
What we've seen, Mike? We've seen a lot of teams have very average quarterbacks be good because they have a good offense around them. You see a lot of teams that have the Sam Darnolds,
Baker Mayfield,
cousin, and the Mac Jones, and the Baker Mayfields, and the Brock Purdy's. You have all of those teams that are successful with average quarterbacks. Why do we need to I just because they have a good offensive system and team around them, do that first. Get that done.
But we're talking about, would I take the 24th overall pick? Again, this is the overall question. Would I take the 24th overall? Look, we're getting out. You guys in the comments are, I wish you guys were here with me. CJ Stroud loses his running back. He loses his wide receivers. There's reasons he didn't have the best year this year. He still wasn't bad this year. Would I take the 24th pick? So let's evaluate that.
Yeah.
A player I'm going to get at 24. Do I think they're going to be more impactful to my team than CJ Stroud? I don't.
I don't think you know that. What good is CJ Stroud that has 2.5 seconds to throw the ball?
Once again, you're assuming that he's this has been such a problem for me with this entire conversation about the
to
draft
throw the ball
the
to nobody that's open.
Joe.
Yeah.
They don't just have one pick in the draft and then they're not allowed to do anything else the entire offseason. That's not how this goes. It's the same thing. I made a post on Twitter this week, and everybody went crazy because people started talking about Caleb Downs. Dane Brugler said that he talked to scouts that scouted Caleb Downs from Ohio State, and he asked them where he ranks in terms of other safeties that they've scouted. And he said several of them said that he's the best they've ever seen. And I said, if your scouts come to you and tell you they have a generational grade on a dude, and then he's available to you at your spot, you have to consider him. You have to. if
apples and oranges here, Mike.
No,
We're
no,
not
no,
talking
no, no,
about
no.
a generational talent.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. So I posted that on Twitter, and then I had all these players come out and say, "Oh, well, great, you're going to add this generational dude to the defense, and the offense is going to score 4 points a game." And it's like you guys everybody wants to have this conversation like the Browns don't have 9 other picks in the draft in a full offseason with free agency and trades and all that to be made. You could take the 24th pick and trade it for CJ Stroud and still build the offensive line and get wide receivers. There's time to do all that.
When it comes to the draft, though, it's really like 3 or 4 picks, because we all know that after the 4th round, it's really just whatever, right? You're throwing
100%.
darts at the wall.
100%. But you still, again, you have free agency. You've got the trade market. There's going to be a lot of changes and additions, especially to this offense, because there has to be.
Sure.
That, again, if here's the thing, the Browns 2026 season is not predicated on who they take at the 24th overall pick. Their success or failure of the 2026 season is not based on who they take at 24.
No,
It's not. And
it's
so
part of the whole picture.
would I rather take a dude that has shown me for 3 years, even though, Chad, I know you're not happy about this year specifically, would I rather take a dude?
He's gotten worse every year, Mike.
Chad, his first and second year are
His
exactly
second
the
year
same.
is not as good as you think it was, Mike.
Yes, it is. I'm looking at the same numbers you are. And frankly, there are stories to that too. Having said that, I'm looking at a guy that has shown that he can be good in the NFL. Already done. Boom. Good. NFL. Whether you think he's average, above average, good, whatever, he's shown that he can do that. Would I take a late first round pick and throw it at that and say, cool, all right, let's roll with CJ Stroud and see what happens there. And let's build this offensive line. Let's add a wide. You still could get Mekhi Lemon at 6. You still could get, I don't know, Jennings Dunker or Monroe Freeling from Georgia or whatever in the second round. There's going to be guys available for you to take. You could get Chase Pasantis at a guard position in the 3rd round. There's going to be players that you're going to be able to take in the draft that still build you up. And now you have a quarterback that's 1,000 times better than anything you have on the roster. 1,000 times.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. But like I said before, he doesn't move the needle enough for me to be like over the moon excited about it.
Also, for like 2 seasons of control.
You make the move with the understanding that you're going to listen. Okay, backtrack. We don't talk about doing.
I hate that we're talking about this conversation right
No,
now.
but this conversation, I think we all have to go into it with a good faith understanding that, like, we're not going to suggest the Browns do something stupid. You're not going to trade away the 24th pick thinking, we'll play CJ Stroud for 1 year, and if he's no good, we'll just try to get rid of him. That's not what you would do. You would only make this move if your understanding was you're going to extend CJ Stroud and give him a contract to stay here longer. That's the only way that move happens.
What if he doesn't want the contract?
Fucking
What if
Browns.
he's like, I hate this place.
Like you can't like bank the Browns doing anything smart. But
this conversation, this whole thing, and again, it does stem back, Joe. And I'm sorry if I get worked up about it, but it all stems back to it's the same thing. You saw it here in the comments from Chef Brian K. You don't pass on a Palomalu. That's what I'm talking about. With like,
trust me, we are not passing on a Palomalu here.
No, but
CJ Stroud's a really good quarterback.
No.
Palomalu.
That's not this.
He meant the Caleb Downs conversation.
The conversation is we take every move and treat it like it's a vacuum of this is the only move. It's not the only move. If they traded their first round, their 24th pick for CJ Stroud, there's probably 20 other moves that are going to get made this offseason. That's just
the cap space, but yeah.
They have plenty of cap space.
They have okay amount of cap space.
Plenty of cap space, especially when you're looking at maybe some interior offensive linemen that don't eat up that much of the cap.
Listen, I don't know.
Bottom third of the league in cap space, but yeah.
Listen, I could very well change my mind because I've said multiple times on this show that I always reserve my opinion on who I want in the draft until after I see what they do in free agency and trades.
100%.
So I mean, if when I look at the moves of the free agency that they make, sure, maybe I'll be a little bit more open to CJ. But if you're asking me to like do it right now, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't take CJ Stroud.
Oh, I'm using that pick. I wouldn't use the 6th pick to get CJ Stroud, but I'd use 24.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. All right. That was fun, actually. It was a fun Browns conversation for once.
Was it?
To get into it. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it's better than talking about the bullshit spewing out of some idiot radio guys.
How many MVPs would Guardians thought? Random thought. How many MVPs would Jose Ramirez have if they actually gave him something?
Was never born.
How many MVPs would Jose Ramirez have if the Guardians would actually give him some protection in the lineup? Like if there was someone they feared behind him,
None.
Or in front of him, behind him.
He'd have none because there's a guy named Aaron Judge and he exists.
I mean, I don't know.
I think you get one. Was it 2 years ago?
Maybe.
Would have been the year.
Maybe. Everybody on this show loves Jose Ramirez, but Aaron Judge, I feel like I'm throwing around that generational word, but that dude it's one of the best.
Sure.
I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer right now.
I just saw Chernoff's comments today, and it really just irked me. It grinded my fucking
I didn't
gears.
see him.
Huh?
I didn't see it.
He talked about not being able to sign top tier free agents, blah, 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 which no one's fucking asking you to do. Any rational Guardians fan would know that, Mike. Okay? Any rational Guardians fan knows that.
I will say our hopes, I think, were increased a little bit. And when I say that, I guess we're going to finish with a quick baseball chat. Our hopes were increased a little bit. Did you see the news that Tony Clark is stepping down as the president of the MLBPA?
Yeah, banging his sister-in-law. Way to go, dude.
So there's that.
Thanksgiving's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got a looming shutdown.
Yep.
Which there's so many baseball fans that are pulling for there to actually be a shutdown. Me being one of them. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, me too.
You brought up one element of the Tony Clark situation. I'll bring up the fact that he is under investigation as well as other people with the MLBPA for improper use of funds, spending the MLBPA's money on things that they shouldn't have been spending the MLBPA's money on. Oh,
yeah. Strip clubs and banging his sister. I wonder how the sister-in-law feels about that.
Well, she was on the main stage.
She was. Oh, okay. Makes sense now.
But I do think we're not going 30 minutes on the guard. Chef Brian K. Hey, Brian K., why don't you go change some brake pads? I could get a good look at a butcher's ass.
Yeah.
By sticking my head. What is it?
It's got to be your bull.
But I do think if you're hopeful that some big changes could be made, this unsettling time at the top of the MLBPA is a good sign. That's a wonderful thing that the MLBPA is in turmoil, and there's going to be a little leverage there. Can the owners get enough leverage to finally push through something that is fair and competitive for baseball?
Yeah.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
A whole new business model.
Just let the players bet. I don't know. That'll solve it.
By the way, who was it? Was it Jeff Passan that wrote the article? Oh, he could have been my asshole of the week this week too. I think it was Jeff Passan that wrote the article that was like, I know fans hate the Dodgers because they cracked the code. Bitch, they cracked no code. I said that on Twitter. I go, just because I can reach stuff on the higher shelves in my kitchen and my kids can't doesn't mean I cracked the goddamn code. Just means I'm taller than my kids. The Dodgers didn't crack a code. They just spend more money than everybody. They get $100 million than the next team for TV revenue, and then they spend all of their money. That is not cracking the code. That is just being richer and having more than everybody else. And when you see Yankees fans complaining about now Yankees players, do you see Aaron Judge saying like, Aaron Judge was in like a press conference, like, we're the Yankees, just go out and get the best players.
Right.
They couldn't because they couldn't compete with the Dodgers. I feel like it's all leading us to a place that I'm sure Paul Dolan will be thrilled to be done with once he gets out of ownership of the Guardians, hopefully next year or the year after. But I think it's all leading us to a place where you're going to have a cap and you're going to have a floor, and there's going to be some competitive balance, because I don't care. We've talked about this a billion times on this show. I don't care how many different teams win a World Series. When they're all teams that spend a ton of money and none of the teams that don't spend a ton of money win World Series, that's not competitive balance. That's just who has money. If you have money, you have a shot to win a World Series. If you don't, you don't. That's
Right.
what baseball is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right, boys, let's get out of here. I didn't know we were even going to baseball. You got me all worked up about the Browns, and then we started talking about baseball, and you started talking about banging sister-in-laws and all that kind of weird
Well,
stuff.
hey, listen, Tony, just getting it in.
He's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here with our cheers of the week. I will kick us off with this one, and I'm going to go back to a previous topic. We talked a lot about the women's national hockey team that is just dominating the Olympics. Chance to win a gold medal tomorrow in the afternoon, early afternoon. And I'm going to bring it back to the player I was talking about, Layla Edwards, the first Black female to score a goal in the Olympics. She did that this year. And Layla Edwards is a Cleveland Heights product, somebody I got a chance to meet when they came here. Not only did I get a chance to meet her, I had one or maybe two too many beers at that game. And I was with Matt Pfeffer. We went down into like the tunnel after the game, and we got to like hang out with some of the players, and their families were all down there and stuff. And my cousin's kids play for the same club that Layla Edwards played for growing up in Cleveland Heights. So I basically stalked her down a hallway.
Oh, God.
And drunkenly,
Layla, hey, girl.
yeah, I stopped her. And what I initially was going to do, I had a picture of my cousin's kid wearing her jersey from that club, and I had Layla sign it on my phone, just like the markup. And then Layla goes, well, are the kids still here? And I was like, well, yeah, they're upstairs. And she goes, cool, take me to them. And I was like, well, shit, I don't know how to get out of here, but I'll do my best. And the two of us just walked our way to an elevator, went upstairs to the main concourse. She was just out there on the main concourse after the game. And I'm going to tell you, this collection of girls that play for this girls club hockey team, a group of kids that are like 8, 9, 10 years old, just went absolutely ape shit. It was the coolest moment.
Nice.
And now to see her excelling in the Olympics, being the first Black woman to score a goal in the Olympics, just a huge shout out to Layla Edwards. She gets my cheers of the week. Chad, go ahead.
Well, I mean, after that, I'm just going to trash it up a little bit here. Let's go back to banging. Cheers to all the Olympians for running out of condoms in 3 days. Jesus, guys.
Record time, man.
Oh,
Record time.
Do they have better beds? Do they have better
yes.
beds at the?
It's a better setup than what was it, Beijing last time?
Yeah,
I think it was Beijing.
If they don't, they're doing it somewhere around the village. Jesus Christ, 3 days. They're like, nope. They're like, we fucking rolling skis and clapping cheeks. Like, that's all we're doing. We're just building. All they're doing is just trying to build the next set of Olympians, I guess. So, way to go, all of you.
When the Olympics, when are the Olympics coming here?
LA 28.
LA 28. Yes. When they come here, rolling skis and clapping cheeks has to be the slogan for
That's
that.
it.
All right.
There we go.
Well,
great
it's
one.
gonna be summer, so we gotta think of
Oh, shit. Roller skates.
And climate
Ooh, roller skate in the or roller derby in the Olympics.
Break.
Oh, let's go.
What was that girl that was the break dancer that was really bad? What was her name?
Oh,
The Australian
yeah.
Forget
girl.
what her name was.
The Australian girl.
Yes. I don't know, but she's probably clapping.
We're gonna have to
All
have
right,
her on.
Joe, cheer of the week.
I'll keep it Olympics. Quinn Hughes for the absolute snipe in overtime.
Yeah.
To
Hell
keep the
yeah.
Olympic dream alive for our boys. So cheers.
Hell yeah. All right, that's going to do it for episode 302 of the Garage Beers podcast. Last order of business for us, just to give away our thank yous. First of all, big thank you goes out to our special guest, Rafa El Alcalde Hernandez-Brito. I had to put the sauce on that one. I had to put the sauce on. Not only did he come on and give us great stories about calling Super Bowls and March Madness and the Feliz Navidad story and all that, he gave us a good suggestion for pupusas. So I'm going to make my way into Fairview Park up on Lorraine Road and grab myself some pupusas because those are delicious. But big shout out to Rafa for joining us here, talking Cavs, basketball, and so much more. Second thank you goes out to our host, the OBR, the oldest, largest independent Browns coverage site in all of Cleveland. And then you get to hang out with us and talk about the Olympics and all kinds of weird stuff. But make sure you get over to the OBR. OBR.com, hit subscribe, make sure you become a part of that community because it is awesome over there. Big shout out to the OBR. Last one, I know you guys thought we were ignoring you again. We had some technical issues where we weren't even sure where this got broadcast out tonight because we got like a little warning message at the beginning, but you guys are here and that's what matters most. So big shout out to everybody that joined us live here tonight. And participated in the comments. And if you weren't live with us, remember, you can always catch us later, either on YouTube or Twitch, or you can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts and catch us there. That's going to do it for episode 302 for Joey Whalen out there in Seattle at Garage Beers Joe. For Chad Meyer in the boiler room over there on the east side of Cleveland at Garage Beers Chad, I am Michael Keefe at Garage Beers Mike. Go follow the show at The Garage Beers on all the socials, and we will see you next week for episode 303. Until then, as always, cheers, everybody.